Hey guys, oh god, excuse me. So welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck commentary thingamabob. So for some of the people that know, if you check like trollandtoad.com, I believe, hold on, let me bring it up real quickly. I believe that they now have the Thunder and Descent of the Dragon or whatever thing on the front page. Something. I can't... Oh, well, it used to be the front page. But essentially, it had a picture of Blue Eyes Silver Dragon and Blue Eyes White Dragon. Oh, there it is. Oh, here it is, right here. Saga of the Blue Eyes Structure deck. So right here, like the... I'm assuming that that's like the Thunder and Descent, or whatever it is. Because there's Blue Eyed Silver Dragon right there, which is pretty cool. But anyway, so based on a request by this kid named Caleb Hatfield, who asked if I would make a Sorcerer of Dark Magic deck. Yeah, obviously this is not a Sorcerer of Dark Magic deck, but I said that that would be a waste of time, essentially, because Sorcerer of Dark Magic is so hard to pull off, and although he's very good, he's not worth it. So, then he came back and was like, well, can you make me a Blue Eye Shining Dragon deck? I'm like, what? I'm like, did you just watch the Yu-Gi-Oh! The Pyramid of Light or something? Because it can't be a coincidence that he would ask for those decks back to back. But it turns out he did, and I went ahead and built what I thought was the best possible Blue Eye Shining Dragon deck. Does this pull off Blue Eye Shining Dragon? Probably 10% of the time. But that's not the main objective of this deck, is to pull off Blue Eye Shining Dragon. You gotta remember, Blue Eye Shining Dragon is so freaking underpowered, it is ridiculous. For as hard as it is to bring this guy out, this motherfucker should be unaffected by card effects. Not that he can't be targeted. I mean, shit. I mean, technically, it doesn't say he can't be targeted. It says he can negate the effects of card effects that target this card. But, needless to say, the main way that I'm winning through this is I'm either summoning my big 5-headed dragon or my blue-eyed silver dragon. Just this guy is the fucking miracle worker in this deck, like without a doubt. I'll get into him a little bit later, but let me actually show you why I chose the cards that I chose and the number that I chose of each card. So first of all, obviously you're going to need 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. Why? Because he's the most powerful normal dragon there is. Also, you need him sort of to make Blue Eyes Ultimate, so you can make Blue Eyes Shining. Okay. Also, he's a trade-in target, and you can also do multiple other things with him. I'll get into what the combos that I do with this deck are a little bit later, but first let me just go through all the monsters and spells. Okay, Rabbit Dragon. Why? Because I needed another level 8 monster, and although he's derpy as shit looking, because he's got fucking rabbit ears, I needed another level 8. He's pretty powerful. He's almost as powerful as Blue Eyes White Dragon, 2950, but he's got a really nice, solid defense of 2900 when I summon him with Silent Doom. So he's really good for that part. Also, I use him a lot with Dragon's Mausoleum. So I run 3 Flamvell Guards. The reason why is because, first of all, he's a normal monster, so he's searchable with Dark Factory just like these normal monsters are. But I also run him because he's a level 1 Dragon Tuner, which is perfect to pull off stuff like Blue-Eyed Silver Dragon. Also, he's a really good if you just have to set him down for 2000 defense, or if you need the extra draw and you summon him to play White Elfin's Gift or something. Whatever. Also, he's another target for cards of Constance besides just White Stone of Legend. So, White Stone of Legend. This guy's really good. First of all, he's a target for cards of Constance. Next, if you've got like a trade-in sitting in your hand and a Dragon's Mausoleum, what I usually do is send Rabbit Dragon, then Dragon's Mausoleum allows me to send another dragon, and I'll usually send White Stone, which will then add a Blue Eyes to my hand. So the whole objective of this deck is to get your normal monsters in the graveyard as soon as possible. Well, at least the level 8s, not necessarily the level 1s, because what I'll do is I'll special summon them back from the grave with like Silent Doom or Bellow or Monster Reborn, and then I'll just normal summon a tuner from my hand and immediately go into a Blue-Eyed Silver Dragon. It's really nice. Sometimes when you don't have a trade-in to get rid of that target and you draw into a level 8, or you have White Stone of Legends effect activate, that's the reason why I run 2 Ancient Rules. Because Ancient Rules is extremely good. I wouldn't run any more, I wouldn't run any less. I've been experimenting for at least 2 to 3 weeks with this deck, And this is the optimal build for it, if you're trying to actually pull off good shit with dragons. Because, I mean, with the Thundering Descent of the Blue Eyes White Dragon, you know that a lot of people run 3, what's her face? Blue-Eyed Maiden. She's just not that good. She's too easy to get destroyed, too easy to fuck you over, and you have to waste cards on her. Like, you have to target her with your own cards. Shit, I don't want to waste my Forbidden Lance on Blue-Eyed Maiden, or whatever else I want to target her with. This is really better. I mean, I've dueled 2 Blue Eyes White Dragon decks where they were running the Blue-Eyed Maiden build, and I creamed them both because they're just way too slow. They just wait for you to attack or do something to them before they react. And I gotta tell you, this is so much better if you want to make high-powered rank 8s. It is so much better. Okay, so that's Ancient Rules, essentially. I mean, if Ancient Rules ends up as a dead card in here, and that's the reason why I have, like, Dark Lord Dealings, Card Destruction, whatever. White Elephant's Gift, because you can either sack the level 8s, you know, if you special summon them through Ancient Rules or Silent Doom, or the Flamvell Guard, get that extra 2 cards draw. I wouldn't run any more than White Elephant's Gift, because I used to run 3, and then I used to run 2, and too often it would become a dead draw, or a dead card in my hand when I would draw it. So running 1 is good enough. If you draw it at the very beginning, it helps kickstart your deck, and if you draw it near the end, it's because you've already got the field advantage. And you'll see what Blue-Eyed Silver Dragon's effect does later. It is so powerful. Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, self-explanatory. Wing Beat of a Giant Dragon. Why? Because you know how I hate back row. It's really easy to special summon shit with this deck. So like Silent Doom, or even Blue-Eyed Silver Dragon's effect, being able to special summon one of my level 8s from the grave. Then I just toss them back into my hand and Heavy Storm the field. And I run 2 of these guys because I've run into tons of decks where they just cover the back row with traps. And I'm like, no, fuck you. And I literally fucked them, you know, with Wing Beat of a Giant Dragon. Okay, I shouldn't have said literally, but you know what I mean. 1 Day of Peace, because this deck can be a little slow at times. I mean, even when you draw it and you have the field advantage, I'll activate it sometimes main phase 2. Or they'll just happen to top deck a Dark Hole and whatnot, and then attack me, and then I'm like, well, I need to start building up my hand again, so I'll play 1 Day of Peace next turn, draw an additional card, and take no damage at all for a full turn. Also, it's really good if, I've noticed if you play against burn decks, and they've got, like, Wave Motion Cannon on their side of the field, and they're pumping it up to, like, 4,000. Yeah, 1 Day of Peace, it buys you an extra turn to get rid of that Wave Motion Cannon with, like, a Wing Beat or a Heavy Storm. Notice I don't run any Typhoons, though. Why? When you can run a Wing Beat? I mean, seriously. This card is so much better. 3 trade-ins, because it's really easy to get those level 8s out of your hand once you get them in there through either trade-in or Dark World Dealings. I really like trade-in because it counts towards my Super Rejuvenation. Notice I have 3 Super Rejuvenations down here. Also, I would like to say 2 things. One of them refers to one of the fake ban lists that was posted on the internet that supposedly it looks exactly like the list that Shriek posts every year. But apparently it's some of the top Yu-Gi-Oh people came through and said, no, this list is fake. So we don't have that to worry about. But then there was another list posted by Clarence, and apparently Clarence is a big deal in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, and he usually posts the correct deck. And he posted or not the correct deck, the correct list. And he actually posted a list that makes a lot of sense, except for the fact that Heavy Storm got banned. Now, they always do, like, weird shit every ban list. Like, no one saw Sangan being banned, no one saw freaking Zen Mighty being banned, although Zen Mighty was at 1 and windups were getting a little powerful, but honestly, I think Zen Mighty being banned was a huge hit. What you should have done was just touch Wind-Up Magician and Wind-Up Factory. That would have killed the deck. You didn't need to do fucking obliterate it with Zen Mighty, but whatever. So there was talk about Super Rejuve being banned, and on that list, on the true list, or the more than likely to be true list, Super Rejuve was not touched, so that's good news for me. And they actually had a different way of destroying the E-Dragon, so you'll still be happy to know that Dragon Rulers will not be a thing next meta. So either way, Where the fuck was I? Oh, right, trade-in. Cards of Consonance. I already talked about that. Dragon the Mausoleum. So this card is extremely good. In the Blue-Eyed Maiden decks, a lot of people tend to run 3 of this card because it's extremely good, but it can only be activated once per turn. So I hate it when I get the dead draw, so I only have 2 of these in my deck, but it's really good for filtering. It's essentially a double Foolish Burial. So you send one Dragon-type monster from the deck to the grave. If that monster that you sent to the grave was a normal monster, then you can send one Dragon-type monster from your deck to the grave, you know, essentially again. So what I like to do is first send Rabid Dragon, then send White Stone, add a Blue Eyes to my hand. That filters my deck by 3 cards right there. Bam. I really like that. Of course, I try to not send the tuners, like Flamvel Guard if possible, because A, only if I've got a Dark Factory would I do it, and B, because I want to draw into him. So that way I can summon him for White Elephant's Gift, or for Cards of Consonance, or just use him and summon him for, you know, making my Synchros, pretty much. But Dragon's Mausoleum is a must for this deck. It's really good. Helps put your Blue Eyes into the graveyard. That way when you activate Dragon's Mirror, which I'll get into in a little bit, you're ready to pull off your ultimate play. So 3 Silent Dooms, because there's another card that you can run if you want, and I was running 2 of them, and then I was... Oh, whoops. Swing of Memories. Swing of Memories is another one that's really good for normal monsters. It helps give them the little advantage that they actually need when facing against non-normal monster decks. And that is special summon 1 normal monster from your graveyard. It is destroyed during the end phase, but it can attack. Whereas Silent Doom, it's not destroyed during the end phase, but it can never attack. Ever, ever, ever. But I like Silent Doom better because I can summon Rabid Dragon and, you know, face up defense as a blocker and just sit on it until next turn, where Swing of Memories, it would be destroyed at the end phase. Now, Swing of Memories, it can attack, so you might want to replace the 3 Silent Dooms with 3 Swing of Memories, but it's really your choice. I've been using this longer than you, and this is what I've seen as the best type of build right now. Maybe you want to side in 3 Swing of Memories, but I'm not taking this to tournament. I built this for a viewer, and I just hope that he's able to use this deck and sees it as adequate, because I've been using it, and it freaking rocks. I mean, it's probably not going to beat an Elemental Dragons or a Prophecy deck, but it beats everything else. So it's really cool. Dark Hole, I already talked about Dragon's Mirror. So yeah, Dragon's Mirror. I mean, this is... I'm normally summoning 5-headed dragon with Dragon's Mirror, because not always do I have all 3 Blue Eyes in my grave. Sometimes I've got one sitting in my hand and I can't get rid of it because I haven't drawn into a trade-in yet, or an Ancient Rules, but it's okay, because 5-headed dragon is quite powerful. So, Dragon's Mirror, once you've got 5 dragons in the grave or on the field, because you can banish it from your field or the graveyard, then you go ahead and summon 5-headed dragon, 5,000. So what I've done actually before is, like, add a Bellow of the Silver Dragon, special summon a Blue Eyes, special summon 5-headed dragon, because I already cleared out the field. Game, you know, that's 8,000, so it's really good. Also, it's the way, if you're going to summon Blue Eyes Ultimate, it's the way that you're going to summon Blue Eyes Ultimate. Banish the 3 Blue Eyes from your grave, summon Blue Eyes Ultimate, summon Blue Eyes Shining. I've only got 1 Dragon's Mirror, I've only got 1 Blue Eyes Shining, because they're not the main way that I win with this deck. It's normally through the Synchros or the ranks, but it's an alternate win, and it looks cool when you do it, because people are like, oh my gosh, this is bringing back so many good memories of when I was like 8 years old and I went to see that movie. Oh my gosh, Kaiba got raped. Oh my gosh. Yeah, anyway. So card destruction. Really good. That's why it's at 1. It also helps to get those dragons out of your hand, or any dead card that's in your fucking hand. And the dragons count towards Super Rejuve, so, you know, whatever. I've used card destruction a few times. Dark World Dealings, because it counts towards Super Rejuve. I was running 3-hand destructions. Man, I've switched up the build on this so many times that, trust me, this is going to be the best version of the build ever. For sure. So I think you're going to like it a lot. And just Dark World Dealings is for filtering, and it adds towards Super Juve. No more to say. Dark Factory, because I can add 2 Sometimes if I need, like I have a trade-in and I need to draw through my deck, then I might add a level 8. Or I might add a Flamvell Guard if I have a Cards of Constance. Or I might add a Flamvell Guard because I want to normal summon it because I've got a level 8 on the field. And I want to make a Synchro. You know? It really depends. So 3 Super Juves because I noticed when I wasn't running 3 Super Juves back when I was running 3 hand instructions that it was just hard to keep good hand advantage with this deck. Because so often... excuse me, you would be killing a card because you would normal summon or special summon from your grave to sync, which is good and all, but you just wasted 2 monsters, or 2 cards rather, from your hand. And you need to be able to resupply, so that's always good. And then 1 Bellow of the Silver Dragon. It's a very good card, but it seemed like whenever I ran 2 of them, I would draw into the next one after I had already activated the first one, and just like Dragon's Mausoleum, you can only activate 1 per turn. Oh yeah, apparently the TCG name for this is Silver's Cry. I'm assuming that that is a blue-eyed silver dragon. That's the reason why it's Bellow of the Silver Dragon. I always called it Bellow, but now that they changed it, it's called Silver's Cry, which is kind of lame, but whatever. Okay, so you might be looking at this extra deck and be like, holy shit, I've never seen so many rank 8s in my life. Well, you probably haven't, because until I made this deck, I hadn't either. So, I run a lot of good rank 8s, and they're for any type of situation that you could possibly encounter. The main rank 8 that I'm going to be summoning is Felgrand, the Divine Dragon Knight. Why? Because this guy's a boss. He's like Pleiades. He can activate his effect during your opponent's turn. So, let me start from right to left. Okay, so Giant Killer. Well, oh, apparently his name is Giant Grinder. Why would you change the name to Giant Grinder? That sounds so gay. Oh my gosh. Whatever. Okay, so the reason why I summon this guy is he's really good if you're going against an E-Dragon deck. Like sometimes, if they summon like a Big Eye and some other rank that they've got, or it can be any of, like I was facing a Galaxy Photon deck, and essentially, what did they have? Like a Tachyon Dragon and some other rank monster that they had. It was like a rank 4. So what I can do is I can summon him, right? It's really easy to summon him. Silent Doom, and then like an Ancient Rules or a Silent Doom and a Bellow or Monster Reborn, or using Blue-Eyed Silver Dragon's effect to special summon a level 8. It's really easy to overlay for this guy. And then up to twice per turn, you can target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls, destroy it. Then, if it was an XYZ monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. Holy shit! Up to twice per turn? Don't mind if I do. Now, he's got a shitty attack, 1500, shitty defense, 2500. But you know what? I can sit on this guy in defense mode if I wanted to. Twice per turn, destroy 2 special summon monsters, and if they were XYZs, inflict a shitload of damage. Yeah, it's a pretty good way to get rid of their annoying ranks. So I like him. He's obviously an anti-XYZ, yet he is an XYZ. It's kind of funny. So Felgrand, the reason why I run 2 of this guy, and he's the only rank monster that I run 2 of, is because once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card. Then target 1 face-up monster on the field. That target's effects are negated, but it is unaffected by card effects during this turn. Are you kidding me? That's fucking amazing. Okay, so he can't be touched by Mirror Force, he can't be touched by Dimensional Prison, can't be touched by Dark Hole, he can't be touched by Creature Swap, can't be touched by Hammer Shot, can't be touched by monster effects, obviously. I'm trying to think of some good monster effects. I guess like Raikou, or something that could really fuck you over. Mind Control, you know, all that. Obviously Mind Control is a spell. But I'm saying you can use it to save himself. You can also use it to save your Blue-Eye Shining Dragon. For instance, Blue-Eye Shining Dragon is vulnerable to Dark Holes or Mirror Forces. You can detach an XYZ material and make him unaffected by card effects for the remainder of the turn. Now, that means that Felgrand will die, but Blue-Eye Shining Dragon will live. Unfortunately, his attack will go down to 3,000 until the end phase, but then as soon as the effect wears off, then his attack is right back up to where it was. Like, I think when I've summoned him, the lowest I've ever had his attack was like 4,200. So, it's really good. I love Felgrand, and you can do this during either player's turn. It's just so good. 2,800 attack, not bad at all. So Gimmick Puppet of Strings. Why do I run this guy? Because he's another rank 8 that I can run. I sort of like him because he's got 3,000 attack, which is pretty good. But let me read his effect. So once per turn, you can detach one XYZ material from this card. Place one string counter on each face-up monster on the field, except this card. If you do, during your opponent's next end phase, destroy the monsters with string counters, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed. So usually if I'm summoning a rank 8, a lot of the times it's the only monster that's on the field anyway. For instance, when I get into Thunder and Dragon, you'll see that. But Gimmick Puppet of Strings, I sort of like him because that means that if I just end my turn, or, you know, if it's a monster that can't get over him, I suppose, then once I end my turn, whether he's gone from the field or not, those monsters with string counters are still going to be destroyed and inflicts 500 damage to my opponent for each one. So if I need to get rid of, let me think, on each face-up monster, so technically this, I don't think this would target, so I think you could get rid of Obelisk with this, because it says each face-up monster, so that doesn't target. And since his effect is split up into 2 parts, destroy the monsters with string counters, I don't think that you can apply the fact that, oh, the second part of his effect is targeting. I don't think you can do that. I don't think that's legal. So he's really good as an alternate rank 8. I've never summoned him, never had the need to. Thunder and Dragon, I've summoned him a couple times. Not necessarily in the duels that I'm about to show you, but... So you can detach an XYZ material monster, dark hole the field, and it misses him. That's fucking amazing, especially when you've got Blue-Eyed Silver Dragon on the field. That's just freaking amazing, and you'll see it later on. Gets rid of XYZs, gets rid of Synchros, like holy shit. I mean, I guess except for Stardust, but whatever. Okay, so this guy, he's got 3,000 attack. I don't even care to mention him really, except for the fact that I can tribute any number of monsters from my hand or side of the field. Tribute, that means Super Juice effect will activate for any cards, monsters that you tribute. So that's the only reason why I've even got him in here. Tachyon, he's very conditional. He's also got 3,000 attack. Essentially, you can negate all face-up monsters' effects on the field if you detach an XYZ material. I like that. I like that a lot. Also, the fact that if an effect activates after he's like done battle with a monster, like during the battle phase, then he gains 1,000 attack and thus can attack again. So if you attack a White Stone of Legend, his effect will go off. Now he just got pumped up to 4,000 and he can attack again. That's pretty good. This faggot, I don't really like him that much, but he's an alternate rank 8. So don't summon him unless he's the only XYZ, the only monster period on your side of the field. So you can detach an XYZ material from this card, then activate one of the effects. Special summon one dragon type monster from your hand. Target one dragon type monster your opponent controls, take control of that target. Until the end of your opponent's turn, the effect of all dragon type monsters your opponent controls cannot be activated. So that's why I like him pretty much. I can special summon a Blue Eyes from my hand and attack for 6,000. That could possibly be game, it doesn't really matter. But you can also take control of one of his dragons, so take control of Red Nova Dragon if you wanted to, or a 5-headed dragon, or some really powerful dragon you want to get your hands on, pretty much. Okay, so Gimmick Puppet Destiny Leo. I saw one guy who posted online, I think he was very salty about something, but he wanted this guy to be banned. I think the guy was high on crack or something, because why would you ban this card? He's fucking hard to get out, 3 level 8s, but in this deck, he's not that hard to get out. I mean, I could have summoned him a couple times, but I don't summon this guy unless I'm going against burn decks. The reason why I would summon this guy going against burn decks is because, first of all, they probably have face-down Spirit Reapers or Marshmallows, or they've got face-up Gravity Binds or Swords of Revealing Light, so I'm not going to be able to attack anyway. So here's what happens. Once per turn, if you control no cards in your spell and trap card zone, do you see any traps in here? No. So you can detach one XYZ material from this card, and if you do, place one Destiny counter on this card. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect, that's fine. When this card has 3 Destiny counters on it, its controller wins the duel. Period. I mean, how are they going to get rid of your Destiny Lero? I mean, yeah, they can Dark Hole it, but that means that they get rid of all of their protection as well. This is perfect against burn decks. Have I run into any burn decks since building this deck? I've run into 0, so no. I haven't run into any burn decks to really test this guy out on. But I know for a fact that this guy would be perfect. In 3 turns, you win. Simple as that, really. This guy, if you want to look at what his effect is, there you go. I never, ever, ever summon this guy. I don't even know where I would summon him. I mean, I know when I would summon him, but I don't know what type of deck I'd have to be facing to summon this guy, to make me that desperate to summon him. So anyway, I would make him obviously with 2 of my Blue-Eyed Silver Dragons, but anyway. So Blue-Eyed Silver Dragon, this guy is not that broken, unfortunately. He's really nice, but he's not that broken. If he were broken, his effect would read, when this card is special summoned until the end of the next turn. It wouldn't say until the end of the next turn. It would say, period, Dragon-type monsters you control cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. That would be amazing. Also, his attack is 2,500 and his defense is 3,000, which is some bullshit in my opinion. He should be exactly like Blue-Eyes White Dragon. But, you know, can't have everything. But he's perfect. As soon as he hits the field, Bottomless Trapple immediately becomes useless. That's really good. Torrential Tribute, nope. And most of my monsters are dragons anyway, so it's really good for protecting my fusions when I want to, you know, attack and they try to use a Mirror Force or a Dimensional Prison. Nope, nope, bad boy. So, also, his second effect, which is probably the better, well, actually both of his effects are pretty damn good. Once per turn during your standby phase, you can target 1 normal monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target. Okay. I choose a level 8. And I've got like a Silent Doom, so another level 8. Or an Ancient Rules, another level 8. Or Bellow, another level 8. Or whatever. Immediate rank 8. Are you fucking kidding me? Hells yeah. Or what you can do is use that level 8 and a tuner from your hand. Or tuner from your grave. And go into another one of these guys. And then you get another full 2 turns of being protected by his effect. It's really good. And then next standby phase, you'll be able to use both of their effects and special summon 2 normal monsters from your grave. So it's really good. And I run 3 of them because a lot of the times, I gotta admit, if I win, it's because of this guy right here, or rank 8 helping him out. And multiple accounts, on multiple accounts, I summon all 3 of these guys. Really good. So because I run all 3, since I have summoned all 3 of these guys before, you could run a Heart Earth Dragon, but Heart Earth Dragon sucks balls, so I wouldn't run him. Blue Eyes Ultimate, 5-headed dragon. Damn, they're pretty self-explanatory. So I'm gonna, oh my gosh, it's 30 minutes? Okay, well, I'm gonna split this up into 2 parts then. This was the deck construction portion of it. So if you really want to be serious with a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, even if you don't want to necessarily run Blue Eyes Shining Dragon. So if you don't want to run Blue Eyes Shining Dragon, that's perfectly understandable. I would trade out Blue Eyes Shining Dragon for a Dragon's Mirror. Because think of it this way. You're trading 1 dead card in your hand for another dead card in your hand. So I would rather have 2 Dragon's Mirrors than a Dragon's Mirror and a Blue Eyes Shining Dragon. But I'm doing this for a fan, so I'm going to keep Blue Eyes Shining Dragon in here. Blue Eyes Shining Dragon's not normally the way that you'll beat your opponents. Actually, it's not the normal way that you'll beat your opponents. But he's cool. He looks kind of derpy, to be honest, because he's got no hands. But, and he doesn't even have his third effect, his Shining Nova effect, which actually is the reason why I named this deck Shining Nova. But it was his ability to destroy any card on the field. You have to tribute him, and he destroys any card on the field. But that was only an anime effect. So anyway, that's pretty much it. If you've got any questions on this deck, how it works, go ahead and ask. If you've got any suggestions, I probably won't listen to them because I mean, go ahead and post it, but I guarantee you that this is the best version of the deck that you're going to be able to run. It keeps good hand advantage, and you're able to pull a lot of shit off. I'd say about 1 out of every 5 duels you'll come up with a dead hand. Like, starting off, you'll come up with a dead hand. But, I mean, what can you honestly expect? This isn't a top-tier deck. So, yeah. Anyway, so I'll talk to y'all in the future, and see ya.